Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another podcast from Axapta Masters. And in today's topic, we're going to talk about Power Platform administration. Along with me here is David. I'm Vlado. I'm working as a system administrator in Axapta for 6.5 years now. And most of the times I'm making troubleshooting, setups, and governance between Dynamics 365 applications and environments, as long as Power Platform administration and Portal Azure. As I've said, David here is with me, so he'll introduce.
Yeah, hi, I'm David. I've worked at Axapta Masters for I think almost 9 years now, and my position is D365 Technical Architect. So yeah, I've been working lately in a lot of Power Platform related topics, and I've also worked with some clients on setting up some Power Platform governance. And yeah, as we know, that is the topic for today.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start. First, to give you a bit introduction, what it is a Power Platform administration and what you need to consider when you when you need to manage and need to take care of your environments when it comes to place. So first, yeah, let's ask the question, what is a Power Platform governance or Power Platform administration?
So yeah, Power Platform governance is actually helping us to govern and to encourage the people of the organization to work with Power Platform, because as we know, Power Platform is really a platform that will allow not only pro developers, not only the people who build the systems work with the features of the Power Platform, but also allow some citizen developers, some business users to be able to automate, to be able to create some apps, to create some AI models. And because we allow that wide range of people to be able to use the Power Platform, that's why we need administration, and that's why we need to set up governance over that process, so that we as IT, as administrators, could oversee what they are doing, put some boundaries on what data can be accessed, put some boundaries on what data can be pushed outside of the system, and yeah, just put some boundaries on what can the developers do, what can the citizen developers do, what can the business do with the Power Platform environments and with the data within them.
Yeah, and since it is it is used by many people from different areas of expertise. So yeah, as David mentioned, we're going to need to take care for the environments and manage the access over there, so that we know, for example, which user, which group can benefit most out of it. So that's why it is, it is a bit crucial first to make the appropriate permissions and to grant the necessary access to either to the developers, the functional consultants, or the system administrators, so that you have a clean and tidy, a platform one can manage. So there are a couple of sections in the Power Platform Admin Center that are, heavily used. The first one is it comes with the environments and who need to have access to them. So you can group them as you create them, and depending on the need of the environment, you can group them into different groups. And the second part, I would say, is going to be the licensing, which is most of the time confusing about the clients as well as the end users. Then as a third part, I would say something that needs to be taken care by the tenant or by the company that is using is the capacity, which needs to be really nicely and tightly governed. And lastly, I would say all of those additional features that comes either with Power Apps or Flows or Power Automate or even Power Pages. So those are, I would say, the crucial parts. So we can, I don't know, we can start with each one of these, depending on which one do you prefer. Usually, when we are doing some consultants when it comes to the clients, David is first referring to the licenses, then I'm taking over with the environments so that they grasp a bit of the necessary information, how they need to be assigned the licenses to the appropriate users, and after those users will take care of the environments and the environment groups as it follows. So a bit short introduction, I think, about the licenses would be pretty much okay.
So as we said, the licensing can be a bit challenging to grasp exactly what the users are getting for which licenses, because even with the basic Microsoft 365 licenses, they are getting some access to the Power Platform. So depending on what the organization currently has, what they have, if for example is a Microsoft 365 license, or it's a D365 enterprise licenses, D365 sales licenses, everything and every one of those licenses gets some access to the Power Platform. So for example, you could, with D365 enterprise license, if we take that as an example, you're able to create Power Apps, you're able to create Power Automate, you're able to use Dataverse, everything as long as it's within the context of the D365 enterprise, right? So as long as it's within the context of the enterprise app, then we are good to use Power Automate. We are good to create applications that will later be embedded in there. On the other hand, you could even create some Power Apps in a standalone way, so that you could buy a per user or per app license, which gives again access to the user to work with Power Apps or work with Power Automates, or you could buy for one app. Exactly. So
it has a lot of options.
Yeah, it has. There is a lot of options on that. It's important here as a first approach within the governance to really understand that licensing.
And the needs of the clients.
Yeah, and the needs of the clients, because let's say you want to create an app and you want to use the Power Platform for that. Maybe the licensing cost will be higher than the actual value that the application gives to your organization. So it is important to understand the licensing part. There is a really good guide provided by Microsoft for these licenses, so it is quite readable, and it's good to understand that as the first part when establishing the governance.
For a first-time reader, I would say that it might be a bit challenging to read the Microsoft documentation, but yeah, I mean, it's also okay to be pointed out that, I mean, since we are doing these kind of things and we're doing a lot of Power Apps, a lot of customizations when it comes to dynamics, I think that, for example, if a client has, a trouble reading that documentation, they can refer to us and contact us, and we can, we'll be glad to help them out about that.
And of course, the main person who needs to understand this, so the main group of people who need to understand the licensing is the actual IT. So they need to understand the licensing, and then the business users or the citizen developers, they can just create their own apps and ask questions to the administrator.
I agree, because at the end, I mean, most of the users that will be using the Power Platform Admin Center, at least when it comes for taking care of the environment, taking care of the licenses, it will be from IT point of point. It's not going to be the business executive. Obviously, they are paying the money about it, paying the licenses, but the assigning of the licenses needs to come from the IT people, and I think that they are the crucial one that needs to understand the licensing part, as well as afterwards it's going to come for the environments as well. So, for example, in our case, when you're telling the clients what kind of licenses do they need, and afterwards when they buy it, from our side, actually from system administration point of view, we actually afterwards take care of those licenses, assign it to the right people, and then actually making the environment visible for the necessary people that needs to have access to it. So yeah, it is, these kind of things, or actually these areas are, I would say, tightly related to each other, and you need to have a collaborators, for example, me and David have, when it comes to this, because every time when they need to develop something like citizen developer from our academy, when they need to create a Power Apps, or they need to create some flow on it, he's telling to me, okay, you have like 2 users, 5 users that need to have access to this environment. Please take care out of it. So I'm gonna need to find it out, assign the appropriate license, make it the environment discoverable to them, and afterwards so they could continue on it. Because as a default, as you know, when you create an environment, only the administrator that created the environment has access to it, and afterwards for the rest of the team, or actually for the rest of the people in the same tenant, it's not visible. So creating these, I would say, like security groups, it's pretty much important for managing those environments, because I can easily assign, for example, the first environment that is going to be created, I can assign it to a security group, let's say A, and I know that, let's say, I don't know, 10 people or 10 citizen developers have access to it. And for the second environment, it can be like, I don't know, like power users, something like that. And they will have a bit more access when it comes to that from that security group. So these things are really, really necessary. And that's why we, how to say, we keep up saying on that, but it really comes handy afterwards when you need to manage them, because when you create a lot of environments, especially when you create a lot of developer environments, in that case, and if you have a lot of people, in that case, managing them or providing them with them on actually assigning them to a security group, it's really important stuff. So while we mentioned this, so we need to point out, I mean, to the listeners over there, we need to point out there like 3 types of environments actually. So we have developer, sandbox, and production one.
Yeah, and also Microsoft for
Teams, yeah.
For Teams, Dataverse for Teams.
Okay. Do you want to discuss about each one of these?
Yeah. So basically, as you said, first it's really important to set up the environment, the governance over the environments. That means the whole environment infrastructure needs to be discussed with the business, with the IT, of how it will look like. And it's again different for each organization. So it might be that the organization is utilizing the finance operations, in which the landscape is always going to have a few finance operations environments, right, which are then inside of a Power Platform environment.
Yeah, so they're linked with the
Dataverse. So it's linked. So the D365 apps reside within the Power Platform environments. So there will always be that. And then on top of that, we have to discuss with the organization on how the landscape looks like for other environments that are not connected to D365 or do not have D365 installed on them. As you said, there are a few types of environments. So there is the developer environment, the development environment that is used by developers. So it's really just an environment where a developer can do some development, can do some proof of concepts and stuff like that. So he is going to be the one who has control over that environment. Then we have the sandbox environments. So the sandbox environments are, let's say, test environments, but they are also used sometimes for development inside of them. But yeah, these are the test and UAT environments that we are mostly referring to. And then we have the production environment.
Yeah, something similar like in the FNO, in the LCS, that they have like UAT or ACC, or so actually user acceptance testing, or just accepting environments. So key users will need to validate, let's say, the data or the customization that was done from the developers.
Okay. And we have the production environments, which is the environments that are used in production. The production type of environments have certain restrictions, like you cannot delete the environment without first changing it into a sandbox. So you cannot do some crazy operations on that because really it's an environment, it's a production environment.
It happened. I've deleted the environment.
So there are some restrictions to the production environments, and it's good that we have those restrictions. And lastly, the Microsoft Dataverse for Teams environments. Those are environments that are automatically created when someone is trying to create a Power App or trying to create a Power Automate from Teams
application itself.
Yeah, from Teams itself. And these environments are also something that we need to govern, because then this means that everyone can create this environment, right? And each environment in Power Platform Power Platform is not limiting you on how many environments you can have. It's not limiting the number of environments. You don't have license per environment. However, you need to be aware of the capacity, because one environment is always going to take at least 1 gigabyte of capacity. And then everything on top of that is additional. The capacity then is calculated according to how many licenses you have, plus some default capacity that you're getting with the Power Platform.
And so let's say from an organization to an organization, it will actually differ, because you don't have a strict value. So this is
So it's calculated with by summing up for each license. For example, I think that the sales license was giving you 250 megabytes of database space, and I'm not sure how much file space, but it's calculated how many licenses are now used on your tenant, and then you get the sum of the capacity. Okay, so based on that capacity that is summed up from the licenses, based on the whole capacity of the tenant, we have the total capacity that is available for the Dataverse environments. This means that when creating an environment, you will take up 1 gigabyte, and that also includes the Microsoft Dataverse for Teams environments, which is available for everyone to create, which can be available for everyone to create. And it's good to leave it like that, because you want the people to be able to try and automate their work, because they have the templates of those kinds of things. So notifications to users of how to behave on the Power Platform, and they have the analytics. So it's a really good application where the whole governance can be led through that application. So you're able to view all the environments, you're able to view all the flow runs, you're able to view all the apps, and again have some notifications, have some messaging. So the Center of Excellence Starter Kit is a toolset containing tools to help with the governance of the whole Power Platform landscape. So basically, it helps you see what everyone is working on. It helps you analyze the errors, see if there are any errors, see if there is anything failing, see who owns all of those parts, and then maybe talk to the owner of the app, or talk to whoever is working on that, saying, hey, this has started failing, this connection is not authenticated, or something like this. So all of this is available through the analytics of the Center of Excellence Starter Kit. However, even if you don't have it installed, you're also able to have some view on the analytics in the
inside. Yes, and they're like kind of group as a note. So for example, for the Dataverse, and for the Power Apps and for the capacity, so you have like a really nice reports. Even you can embed them with some Power BI reports, and you can have a nice view and representation, as you mentioned, who created, how much space did it use, or did it fail, did it cause any errors on the other environment. So yeah, it's really nice that you have both of the options, like to choose either Center of Excellence Kit or directly to log in into the Power Platform admin and do it from over there. So really helps a lot.
again, it's still depending on the organization whether they want to use the Center of Excellence Starter Kit or they don't want to use it, because the governance is not the same as the Center of Excellence Starter Kit. Governance is the whole process that we have set up. The Center of Excellence Starter Kit is just tools that can make this easier and can be used as a template to help with this governance.
Yeah, that's really nice thing. So Microsoft did a kind of okay stuff when it comes to that, but yeah, there are a lot of options as well. So they kind of try to implement it, because nowadays the data area, I would say, or reports, when it comes for usage and nicer presentations like graphics and pie charts and everything, the executive level always wants to see those kind of stuff. So that option is also available in Power Platform Admin Center. So you have many options to choose when it comes to that. So if you want, you can like do it from out of the scratch, and we have some available that are already made up from Microsoft over there. But if you want to do some customizations, that's also a possibility.
Yeah, you can export the data basically from the admin center. You can export the data from the environment and then push it to a data lake, build your whole reporting on that.
Yeah, yep. That's really nice. Also, there's like some security points of view that Power Platform Admin Center is also capable of doing them. So, for example, as you know, which is kind of okay and modern with the IP cookie binding, and as well as IP filtering when it comes to that. So, for example, if you want to add an extra layer of security, as I know, so you can just whitelist the IP addresses that you want for managing or for providing access to the environment, and also with the IP cookie binding. But although here it needs to be mentioned, it needs to be pointed out that for that thing to happen, or actually for those things to be enabled as a features, you need to first make the environment as a managed environment, otherwise you won't be able. So those are like some prerequisites when it comes to that needs to be mentioned. So let's say if clients sometimes want to do something and they're not able, it might be because of that.
So it is recommended actually to enable the managed environments, because they are giving you the extra features or extra just advanced features that help you with managing your environments.
Either with AI or the life cycle of the applications, which is also an interesting point. I think I have some expertise or some knowledge, some experience when it comes to them from life cycle management of the applications, right? So that's also a good thing, and that is how to say.
So that also needs to be planned. So the life cycle of the applications need to be planned and discussed inside of this, because we want the applications to be where we need them to be, right? So we don't want, let's say, an application that is created and should be used by a lot of users. So let's say a whole country is using that application. We don't want that application, even if it's created by a user, even if it was created personally for him, if he wants to promote this application to be able to for his team to use, and then the other teams see that this application is good, so they also want to use it. We don't want him to just share the application and everyone uses it on the dev environment, on his development environment, or even on a sandbox environment that does not have that purpose. So we want then this user to request for his application to be taken to a correct environment. So he requests to the IT, and the IT then has a look at the app, has a look at the purpose, where it needs to go and what it needs to do. So then we need to set up some kind of a life cycle, right? So we want to use the pipelines, maybe use the pipelines from that are included within the Power Platform. So we can use those pipelines. We can use, again, Azure DevOps if you want to. However, Azure DevOps is more for pro developers. But yeah, that is also a possibility. So it can be done using the Azure DevOps pipeline for more complex apps, for some apps that are developed by pro developers. and then we could use the out-of-the-box Power Platform pipelines to simply promote an application from one environment to another environment through that. And as you said, with the managed environments, we also get the option to connect the environment with a repository so that we can push the code to that repository. Yeah. However, that again is more of a pro developer setting, which I'm sure it's also needed because I know that we're talking a lot about the business users and the citizen developers using Power Platform, but for more complex apps, again, you might need pro developers to do some optimization, to create some optimal code or optimal application.
Yeah. But it's a nice playground. So all in all, Power Platform Admin Center is a nice playground when it comes to, collaboration between different areas or different departments, and they can really came up with nice solutions and good solutions. So it doesn't matter if it is a citizen developer or like pro that needs to take care of the lifecycle of the applications, or like data team when they can also do some setups and connection even with, so you have the options with the signups and Fabric also, which is quite popular. So everything is, taking in place. I can't wait to hear to announce Microsoft finally, let's say, the migration from LCS to Power Platform Admin Center, because that will bring the environment monitoring also into Power Platform Admin Center, which nowadays is not the case, but we are waiting still for that announcement when it comes to Microsoft. And that will give, I think it will complete the full cycle of managing the environments, because on one hand, you have the CRM applications and you can fully manage the customizations and the application when it comes to the CRM environments inside the Power Platform Admin Center. But when it comes with linking with the FNO, you have most of the things are done over there, but it's not from, let's say, monitoring point of view or those kind of things. It's not fully integrated into Power Platform Admin. So can't wait to finish it up, that project Microsoft, and leave us with just one platform, and we can do nice collaboration between system administration developers, citizen developers, and so on and so on. So it is really a good place. I think they did a wonderful job. So
I think we should also mention about the data loss prevention policies, because that is an important one. So yeah, as we said, if we are planning to let people that are not pro developers, or even sometimes for the pro developers, right? We don't want our data being leaked, or we don't want
made it publicly available.
We don't want our data made publicly available. So we need to set up the data loss prevention policies, which is again a really important part of the administration, as part of security goes.
Here you can set it up in organization level or legal entities and those kind of stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so
you could for the Power Platform, you are setting it up from the Power Platform Admin Center. You can set it up. You set it up on a tenant level, so you can set up multiple policies. So you set up one policy as a default, which then you want every environment to be able to use. And usually on the default policy, you just let only the mandatory things. So we make the policies, we make let's say a default policy. And what the data loss prevention policies do is stop some connectors to be able to be used together within the same context. So let's say you want to create a Power Automate, which gets the data from finance operations, and creates a tweet from that. So you don't want that, right? Yeah. There is a connector for Twitter. There is a connector for finance operations. We don't want them in the same Power Automate. So that's why we can block the Twitter connectors. So we can block anything that we don't want our data going to.
So and then a bunch of connectors available.
Yeah, there are. I think last time I checked, it was 1,500 or something, 1,600. So it's a lot. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's a lot. So yeah, we can separate the connectors into three categories. So we have the blocked connectors where no one can use these connectors. We have the business connectors and the non-business connectors. So basically there are some connectors that cannot be blocked, which are out of the box from Microsoft and which I don't see a reason why we would block them. So they cannot be blocked. Everything else can be blocked, but usually, and it should be split only in the three categories: business, non-business, and blocked. Usually business is put the business critical connectors, which is let's say finance operations connectors, Dataverse connectors. We have all the critical data that we don't want to be used together with the non-business ones. And let's say the non-business ones is something that is used by the users,
like Twitter.
Yeah, let's say we have the marketing team trying to create tweets on a regular basis, right? So they set up a flow and set up a whole list of tweets that need to be tweeted every day, right? So we have a flow that takes from one Excel table and pushes the tweet from that Excel table, right? So it is a case, let's say, and we don't want the business to be able to automate anything and take data and leak it to outside. So only connectors that can be used together are business, and then only the non-business can be used together. You cannot take one connector from business and then in the same context put one connector from non-business. So that we'll stop. This way we can stop the data leaks. We can stop the data loss to some maybe even mistakes.
Okay, and this is for tenant level, right?
Yes. Then you create multiple. Usually you create multiple policies like this. Usually you create multiple policies like this. So you create one default one where you have just some way of handling. Then you have the let's say the production one, which should be the most restrictive. Here, what I've previously advised was to see what we have in a certain production environment. So in my case, it was an environment that was connected to finance operations. So we had Dataverse and we had finance operations within the same environment connected. And what I've advised is to have a data loss prevention policy that only allows anything that is there, right? So if we want to deploy anything, we need to specify which connectors we are using, and then we need to change before deploying it to the production environment, change the policy. And but yeah, of course, so this is
you have more control
yes,
over it. So.
But again, this was done in a more controlled way because this is an actual finance operations environment connected with Dataverse, and it does not contain any applications developed by business users. So it's more of system applications that are globally done for the business. So it was all done from pro developers, but again, it's good to have these data loss prevention policies to prevent these kind of situations. So yeah, the data loss prevention policies are there to protect us from the data loss. So yeah, I think that is it for the DLP. In general, we
covered I think most of the parts when it comes to Power Platform admin. Although there are some details that we can discuss a bit even more. So if you go for each of these topics or subtopics, let's say, into details, it will take more time and more time. But yeah, probably on the next episode it will. I don't know. We might delve a bit more into topics like this. I mean, into subtopics that we discussed. So if you're interested, I don't know, drop a comment on the channel or ask us a question. So I'll ask our salesperson, how can we help you when it comes to Power Platform administration, as long as Dynamics, and even legacy versions. But yeah, we'll be happy to hear from you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed in this podcast episode of Axapta Masters team, and stay tuned for the following episode and for the following guys. So yeah,
thank you
cheers.
guys.
Thank you guys.